Hello, everybody. This is Nicole with Like with eCom Sellers, and it is Print on Demand Challenge Day 27. And today was catch up day at 5 o'clock. So tomorrow we will do catch up day again at 5 o'clock. If you want to come and join me, I am here to answer whatever questions you have, help you work through whatever you want to work through, help resolve whatever you've got. I'll do my best to be a great support resource to you. And then if you still just want to schedule a free 20-minute coaching session with me, feel free to do that as well. I sent out the email yesterday. I think I got everybody. I hope I got everybody. If I missed you, I apologize. I wasn't intentionally trying to draw people up. So, but we were having a really great discussion. Miss Cassandra, Miss Debbie came at 5, and we talked about a couple of things. And so, you're more than welcome tomorrow to come and hang out with us, and let's get you caught up, or let's get some things going in your business and see what I can do to help you make some progress on where you are on your journey. So with that, the first thing I want to do is always open it up to anyone that has any questions, anything that you want to ask me, tell me, anything you want to discuss before we get into the session. You can unmute yourself. I invite you to share. Okay. All
I
right.
actually have a question.
Go ahead.
So I started to do some work with Canva
Ooh.
yesterday, based on what we had talked about,
Uh-huh.
and I found some templates,
Yay.
and I had a question about the formatting of the template. So say I find a template that I like, but I need to add something to it.
Okay.
Um, is that something that can be, I guess more it's more of like a formatting issue? Um, would it be something that I could actually edit in that particular template and add, or would I have to like recreate the whole entire template?
Well, I don't know. It depends on what the template is.
Okay.
So what did you find? What did you find?
So it was a bookkeeping template. I think it was a credit card.
Okay. So
Uh,
depending on the template, uh, that is not what I wanted. All right. Not necessarily what I want either, but that's okay. So
or you could do like budgeting, a budget template, or a expense tracker.
okay. All right. So I'm just gonna choose this one because this is the first one. So sometimes depending on how it was built, if the all the stuff is, there's two things. One, it could be that all of the lines and the words and everything are all grouped together, and if they were all grouped together, like if I run my mouse over it without clicking on anything, and it all is one giant image consolidated, then that means they're grouped together. And if
Okay.
they're grouped together, then I can click on a little option. Once I click on the image itself, there's normally a little option over here to group or ungroup, and I can ungroup it and then change whatever it is. So if the thing that was grouped together, like maybe the descriptions are not what you want, and you need to ungroup the descriptions and then change the description, you can regroup it back together, whatever you want to do there. So that's something that you can do. If you want to change the font after you've ungrouped it, most of them will allow you to be able to change the font and change the text. Unless the image was uploaded to Canva as a template, like as a PNG, then it's already totally grouped together and there's nothing that you can edit about it. You just have to try and find the original. But as long as it's in a true Canva format that's editable, you can change anything you want to.
Okay.
So was there like a column, a label, you wanted to add an extra column or something?
Yeah, it was more so because I started looking at some of them, and then I actually wanted to look at the one that I had because I think I ended up crossing out one of the headers and like splicing, like taking a ruler and splicing the column in half and putting like
Okay.
one half labeling something and then, the other column labeling something. So it would be instead of having the date, the description, the category, the amount,
Uh-huh.
it could say date, payment method, right?
Mhm.
Because if you depend upon the type of expense tracker, so it could be credit cards. So if you have a credit card that, you use like MasterCard or Discover or something like that, or if you paid cash, you want to kind of, have all of your expenses down, but then have them categorized as the type of payment method. So instead of it having date, description, category, and amount, it would have date, method of payment, description, category, and amount.
Okay, so we can go and do that now. So the first thing I would do is if I know that this line on this side and the line on this side are the length of this particular, this grid that's already there. And so I want to get rid of this one. Maybe I could duplicate this so I can have the other name. So one of the names, what did you say the name was?
Payment method.
Okay, so payment, ooh, that might be still too long. All right, so I am going to just shrink the text size. Not that that's a good thing. We're just doing this temporarily just so I can show that you can squeeze both of them in there. I could stack it. Hold on, let me just do this. You get behind it and stack it and squeeze it to make it even smaller. That is normally not what you would want to do, have this tiny font, but we're just doing an exercise. And then what was the other one? What's the other word? Sorry. Payment method and
It's basically description. So what it was. So you have your
okay.
payment, you have your date, your payment method, and then description.
Oh,
Say,
okay.
I don't know, it was, I went to
Okay.
CVS or something like that. And then category would be medical supply, medical, and then the amount.
Okay. So I'm just for the purposes of not well, I could edit this whole thing. Hold on just a second. Let me just do that. Sometimes me and my mouse don't agree with each other. So if I take this, I can move this over, make this column a little bit skinnier, move this over here. All I'm doing is using the arrow keys on my keyboard to move this over. So as long as I click on it, move it over, then I can, and I can, as long as I grab the line. So I have to get to the place where I can get the line. I just had it. There we go. Then once I get the line, I can move it over. Okay, now I don't have to have this tiny font. So I can go back to 12, which is what this is. And I can move this up and down to line it up with the others. There we go. Doesn't have to be that long. That's unnecessary. And then, come on. There we go. Copy this line. You can also click on the duplicate and grab it. Once you duplicate it, move it over.
Oh, okay.
And then once you got it, I can increase this from what it is, make it longer. I don't know if I can do it at 12 though. So
You
the
could
other,
probably just do PYMT and then MTH or MTD or something
yeah,
like that, just to.
yeah. Or I can raise the height of this. So just give me a second. I can move this up just a little bit right there. Move this line up a little bit. Then I have the ability to stack it. And then I'd have to, increase the length of all these lines. So just letting you know, like all those are options. If I don't like anything that I just did, I can always undo and it puts everything back to where it was.
Okay.
So just giving you some other options. So I can get in this box. T and I don't want to do meth, but anyway, we are there. So move that in there, line it up with the other ones,
Okay.
and
So as long as I can see that they are like when you put the arrow on.
you just have to rest your mouse. So all I'm doing is just resting my mouse to see if I can grab the line. So once I highlight the line that I want, I can hit click, and now I've got the dot at the top and the dot at the bottom. I can move it wherever I want to.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So yes, you do have the ability to do that. Anyone else have a question I can answer, help you with, do something, show you something? I love Canva. I love it. It's a great tool. It is a fantastic tool. All right. So no questions? No questions. Okay. All right. So let me go back. So today, I do want to start in branding, and I do want to talk about social media assets and all the other stuff. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up with the other three that we're going to talk about today. I didn't get to put together a summary for them, so I didn't have time today. Today was a little crazier. My son had a 48-hour EEG this past weekend, and we had to go to the doctor, and I had to deal with a lot of stuff, extra stuff. So I apologize for not having the summary. I'll come back and put something in here, and so you'll have it. So sorry about that. But the three that I want to talk about today is T Launch, Merch by Amazon, and Ink. Oh, Threadable. Ink Threadable. Okay. Let me go back and escape. But Ink, there's a K in there. These are also there. I need you to know that there are so many print on demand suppliers, by no stretch of the imagination, are the ones that we are covering the only ones that are out there. That's the thing I do want you to know, that your ability to build your business, if you decide you just want to do print on demand jewelry, you have the opportunity to do print on demand jewelry. If you want to do print on demand dog leashes, you can do print on demand dog leashes. There's a guy who he has a YouTube channel. He was on Flip Up, and he all he does is dog leashes, and matching dog leashes, and oh, what's the other thing? Something else. But the point is, that's what he does, and he makes lots of money every single month. People order from him in bulk. If you want to do socks, if you want to sell t-shirts, if you want to sell books, the print on demand opportunities are just endless. So I want you to know that just because we're the ones we're covering, these are not the only ones that are out there. So we're going to look at T Launch real quick. I think T Launch is right here. And so T Launch, like Teespring or just Spring, whichever it's going to be, long term, big picture, is another print on demand provider where you can choose from their list of products that they have available. And you'll notice what makes them a little different than the others. What are they selling? Balls. That is something that is different. And that's what I was saying. Like, the opportunity to do print on demand is just bananas. How many of you are in an area where there's sports teams, or there's groups, or they need to buy t-shirts, or maybe they're putting together a new little league in your community or whatever, and just the number of things that you can have, you can do print on demand with, is just amazing. What if you just did a print on demand store where you did custom sports related stuff, sports related um, jumpsuits, and sports related, you know, socks and tennis shoes, and so that they can have their league. Now, this one clearly is trademark, because we're talking about a real game, but a real team. But the point is that you can see here the opportunities are endless. And this is different than anything else. It is different. When I go to office, think about people who are hosting conferences, and people that are hosting events. Maybe your church is going to be hosting something, and they've got to get some swag, or some, I call it trinkets and trash, where they just want to be able to give some stuff away to people. You registered, here's your notebook with the branding name on the outside of it, and matching pin, and some stickers or whatever. So the opportunities are endless as to what you can do with print on demand. I just want you to know that. It's insane. It is completely insane. Cookware, kitchenware. So Father's Day, cutting boards. Mother's Day, cutting boards. Christmas, cutting boards. Custom cutting boards. I saw these probably about, I don't know, 3 years ago, maybe 4. First time I saw, I was like, what? You can do custom cutting boards engraved? Yeah. Opportunities are endless. So, you may want to put them on your list. I do know that pricing is going to always be something that you're going to have to look into regardless. It's something that you have to think about, and that you have to be mindful of. So these are headphones. Yeah. And another set of headphones. Just really cool stuff. This is a speaker. I just, I just want you to know, okay, that there's a lot of opportunity to do print on demand stuff. So you can come and look at T launch. I will say that there's a couple of things I do know about them, only because I did a little bit of research, as I know that they do have some challenges with customer support, meaning they take a little bit of time to get back with you. Um, their processing time for orders, most of the print on demand suppliers are going to be anywhere from 7 to 14 days. I mean, that is just a fact. So that's the reason why I said I want to test Gelato, because I keep hearing that they're much faster than anybody else that's out there. So when I do test them, I'll let you know. And I may test them like this weekend, or this weekend coming up, or next week or something like that. But their processing time is not as fast. I mean, I think theirs is roughly about 2 weeks. And so for some of your customers, they're not interested in waiting that amount of time. And so those are things that you have to be mindful of. And they can be pricey over time. But again, they do have some cool stuff. They were the first ones that I saw that had balls. I mean, I was like, what? So I had not seen that before. The next one is an ink threadable, and they are out of the UK, of course. So again, for those of you that want to sell internationally, there are a lot of suppliers that are international. So what happens is, if there's a design that you've created and you want to use one specific supplier for people who buy in the US, and you want to use another specific supplier for people who buy internationally, you have the ability to choose that. You just don't want to set up automated integrations. If you do set up the automated integrations, just know that they're going to whoever you set up the integration for. So if you want to duplicate the listing and say this is, a listing that's specifically for UK, and this is a listing that's specifically for US, you can do that and make it easy on yourself. So I know Gelato is international. I think Selfie is international. And there's another one that we looked at that I said was international. And then these guys are international. Being able to sell to those in the UK and Australia and Canada and all, other places is always a good thing, because then that gets you, this is the one business that I think it makes it easy for you to scale, easy for you to scale internationally, because you have suppliers that can print locally where that person potentially is. So, you can reach out to them and confirm where they have print shops, and you can decide that those are the locations in which you want your products to be visible, and then be able to sell them. So the products that they have available: t-shirts, hoodies, vests, aprons, mugs, socks. Let me hide this. Maybe. No. I have a mouse that's fickle. Face coverings as I continue to go down, socks, cushions. I would tell you cushions sell a lot, especially for pets. And then they've got beach towels. So things to think about. You can just come and look at their list. The cost is, a lot of the things are going to be listed in. I don't think that they have the US. Yeah, I think the currency display. Yeah, they do have US dollar. You want to apply that so you can see things in US dollars. So that if you want to consider them in the future, and again, you don't have to pick any of these. You don't have to go, you could literally just choose one print on demand supplier. So to reduce the overwhelm, to reduce the stress, start with one and just test with them for 1 month. Get familiar with their back office, get familiar with their process, write down your lessons learned about them. What did you have to do to connect an automated integration, if that's what you're going to do. If you're not, you're going to do the manual orders, that's fine too. What inventory did they have? What have you learned about, their pricing? Make a note of everything that you learn about that specific supplier. And then next month, in August, add one more new supplier. So now you're using 2 print-on-demand suppliers. And then in September, maybe add one more supplier. So now you got 3 different print-on-demand suppliers doing 3 different things for you. So it is not uncommon for those who are doing print on demand to have a couple of different suppliers and platforms that they work on. That's not uncommon. You do need to have, a process in which you can manage that. And if you're selling through Etsy, of course, you got your back office reports and all of that to be able to manage that, but to some extent. But to manage, if you're going to sell the same thing on different platforms and you want to make sure you fulfill these specific things from this supplier and these specific things from that supplier, make sure that you have a process or procedure in place to be able to do that. Okay. The last one I'm going to mention is Amazon. Now tomorrow we're going to get into like the books and stuff like that, which is one of my favorites because that's where I'm selling right now. But merch by Amazon. So merch by Amazon has been interesting. You do have to apply, and once you apply, you'll go through the process to be approved to sign up. So if you have an existing selling account, there's no guarantee that you will actually be approved to be able to do merch. One of my closest friends, like my business partner, got immediately approved to be able to do merch. And one of my closest friends who sells more than my business partner and I combined applied for a merch account and they denied her. And she was like, "What?" I said, "I don't know what's up." So I told her to reach out to them, and she was trying to figure out, like, what did I do something wrong? Did I fill it out? I was like, I don't know. Let's see if we can figure out what happened. But in any case, merch can be a good one. Amazon prints mass. There's a lot of mass printing. Most of the time, most of the stuff that they have are products that are common, T-shirts, and trying to remember all the stuff that they have. I know there's a site that tells me all of it because I have to log in to be able to get to it. Merch by Amazon products. Because books are under KDP, which is also Amazon, just so you know, it's Kindle Desktop Publishing. That's what that is. So multi-products. Let me just see what they got. The products that there we go. T-shirts. I knew about T-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, all that kind of stuff. Hoodies. Hold on. They've added a couple of things, but the majority is T-shirts. Just so you know. Yeah. So the majority of it is T-shirts. And that's 2021. And I know that they sell more than, there's a couple of things additional things that they recently added. I just don't remember what they are. So you can, tote bags. That's what it was. Tote bags, throws, phone cases. I think those were the new ones that they added, maybe. When I log in my back office, I'll be able to see, but I did not log in before we got started. So I don't do as much with merch by Amazon, although it is a great way. I will tell you this: if you decide to do merch by Amazon, you can make a lot of money because Amazon is going to showcase your specific products over other people's listings. So if you're selling clothes on Amazon, like you can put your print-on-demand products on Amazon or your whatever they happen to be, and if it happens to be clothes, I will tell you there's a high probability that the merch people's stuff is going to show or get featured more than yours organically, because that's just the nature of Amazon showcasing their stuff. That's just the fact. But there's other things that, to be able to do merch by Amazon, they do have some pretty strict guidelines. And they're decent guidelines. It's just that there's some more guidelines that you have to be aware of. Whereas you have a little bit more flexibility on some of the print on demand sites. So there's a difference between the two. And I can list my stuff multiple places and still get pretty close to the same amount of sales that I would have gotten on Amazon. It's just a matter of, do you want to jump through more of Amazon's hoops? So I'm not going to say don't do merch by Amazon. I'm just going to say if you decide you're going to do it, just be mindful of the fact that there's some additional guidelines that you got to follow when you do merch by Amazon. And you do have to get approved to be able to have a merch by Amazon account. And your payment is like, I guess royalty, your commission, your fee. You put the design up and then you'll get paid a set amount. And they do pay just like they pay sellers, which is every 2 weeks. So I guess that's the short version of it. So any questions? Any questions at all? There's an updated site on this. I just don't know where it is. Any questions? Yeah, no. Okay. Translations, new products, not selling through Amazon, merch by Amazon. Yeah, we know about that. Yeah, I thought there was another site that I'd seen before, used before, that had the list of products. Okay, well, I'm not going to see them. So it's mainly t-shirts. So the majority of it, that is what people are known for, selling on merch by Amazon. All right. So with that, it is already 6:30. Tomorrow we're going to start talking about your Etsy store, your Etsy storefront. We're going to talk about branding and long-term, bigger picture. Whatever you decide to do with your store, you can always rename it. You can always create a new store if you decide you want to do that. Run a couple of stores if you want to do that. Your call. I think Etsy, I did that research once. Ooh, I'm going to mess this up. I think you're allowed to do up to 3 stores, maybe 5. I got to go look now. I may be confusing eBay with Etsy and their guidelines, because you can actually have multiple stores on eBay if eBay is aware of it. So I know there's some limits, but in any case, you can set up multiple stores if you want to. You can also segment out your store and have different categories, so you have a universal sort of store set up if you want to. So there's a few things that you can do, and we're going to talk about your branding and getting you going with your specific store. So with that, I think that is it. I'll be there at 5:00. Answer any questions this week. After we go through branding tomorrow, then we're going to work on choosing a print-on-demand supplier. I think we're going to go with Printful just to make it easy, because they're the most well-known. We're going to connect our Etsy store to Printful, and we're going to submit an order, or create a listing. Not submit an order. Create a listing. So hopefully that will be, tomorrow's Tuesday. Hopefully that'll be Wednesday. So our goal by the end of the week is to decide on a print-on-demand supplier and actually create. I had down 3 to 5 listings this week. So I'm just going to say 1. We're just going to create 1 listing on a new platform, so that everyone has an opportunity to get caught up on their printables and their downloadables, and get comfortable with creating their account on a print-on-demand supplier or provider account, creating their account, and then uploading their design or creating a design on that platform. So that's what we're going to do. Are you guys ready? Are you ladies ready? Not guys. Are you ladies ready?
We are ready.
Ready.
All right, let's do this. So goal is to get caught up. That's what we're working on doing this week. And we're going to do 1 print-on-demand product. We're going to create an account, do a print-on-demand product this week. All right.
All right. Mm-hmm.
All right. I will talk with you all later. You have a blessed evening.
Thank
You too. Thank you.
All right. Bye.